Hello everyone, welcome to EduTab and welcome to another interview in your SEBI Grade A Topper series. So today I have with me a very inspiring candidate, a very inspiring officer, Miss Kiran. Thank you so much Kiran for coming today.
Thank you so much, ma'am. First of all, I would like to thank entire team of EduTab for giving me this opportunity, for calling me on this platform to share my journey and to interact with every one of you. And I must mention that EduTab has been my constant companion since inception until date. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. We are humbled today to have Miss Kiran. Guys, you will be very happy to know all the points that Miss Kiran has to discuss. Actually, she has a list of points she wants to discuss with you regarding the complete strategy of your examination. Right. So I'll just give a brief introduction, right, and then we'll discuss about you in detail. So Ms. Kiran is a CA. She has done BCom, MCom, and then cleared her CA in 2018. After that, she has worked in a PSU. No, she worked in IDBI.
Yeah, first I worked in IDBI.
IDBI, and then while she cracked SEBI examination, she was working in Power Grid. So a wonderful experience she has of the jobs, wonderful jobs she has done. And we will also discuss about the switching of your job, Kiran. I think
Yes.
very interesting. So please tell us about, like, this is just the bullet points I've given about you, right? Please
Okay.
give us the detail.
Okay, so I'm currently working at Power Grid. So my journey has been little interesting. It was very cut to cut with Power Grid because since SEBI notification, it came in March 2020, and I think SEBI had delayed its exam a lot of times. So during that time, I think one should not focus only on one option. One should also keep backup options as well. And since I had calculated the time it would take for SEBI, so in the meantime I thought why not give Power Grid exam. It will be, kind of a brusher for SEBI also. So I appeared for Power Grid exam, and then fortunately I cracked Power Grid. And it is very interesting that the moment I cracked Power Grid, I was really very happy. And most of my colleagues, they also appeared for, they had applied for SEBI, but after getting Power Grid, they skipped SEBI. But I thought, I always wanted to be in SEBI. So I'll just share that timeline of how SEBI and Power Grid happened. They're very cut to cut. So I think it was my medical on 13th, on 13th of January, and SEBI phase 1 was on 17th. So I had just 2 days for revision in my for phase 1 SEBI. And then it is very interesting that initially I was supposed to join Power Grid on 1st Feb. And I was just hoping कि I had to study for phase 2 during my training days in Power Grid. But fortunately, maybe luck was on my side that Power Grid's joining date got extended by 1 month. And I think, I don't know, but it is a coincidence or the moment, like the day on which I appeared for SEBI phase 2, it was 27th Feb. On the same day, I boarded the train for Delhi to join Power Grid. And yes, and the coincidence doesn't end there. I was at my home, like because we had training in Power Grid. So in the end of April, we were sent back home because of because of this COVID wave. And I remember that on May 6th, Chennai interviews were going on during first week of May. So I was expecting that maybe around May end or June, my SEBI interviews will be taking place. So again, it is a coincidence. I was just hoping that somehow, I wish that SEBI interviews, they ki complete ho jaye before my posting order comes out. And maybe luck again favored me. I appeared for SEBI interview on 4th June, and my posting order came on 7th June. So it has been a very interesting journey. It was like sometimes Power Grid and SEBI, and I had to mention that when I was preparing for my SEBI interviews, I had my Power Grid tests also.
Just training tests.
Yeah, training test. So just 2 days before SEBI interview, I had a surprise Power Grid test. So simultaneously I was preparing for that. The pressure was too much because you really don't know whether you will get SEBI or not. and since you're already in the current organization, you don't want to lower your impression there also, because it was the first kind of test that were taking place, so I wanted to score good in that test also. So the pressure was too much, but somehow I survived, and I'm here as a grade A officer.
So guys, a classic example of what we usually hear, that luck favors those who work hard. So here Kiran is humble enough to say that luck was in her favor. It has been, but the sheer hard work, the effort she has put in, we will discuss that today. Okay, because we all know this is not an easy examination. SEBI, such a reputed body,
Yes,
one of the most coveted jobs in the country,
yes,
and you are here leaving Power Grid, and I would
Yes.
say a step up you are taking, joining SEBI, as you are gonna be in one of the most important roles anyone thinks about, dreams about.
Yeah.
It is gonna be one of
Yeah,
those.
I think SEBI is kind of a dream job for me, and so was Power Grid. But I was always inclined towards SEBI.
Hmm.
So while filling forms, also I was very clear. In case I got both Power Grid and SEBI, I'll definitely go for SEBI.
Hmm.
So SEBI was always my first priority.
So it was basically about your interest, that
Yes.
in which field you want to work, basically.
Yes, in Power Grid also, I would like to elaborate a little. I'm into accounts and finance. Particularly, I'm posted in taxation department in Power Grid. So there also, I was very clear that either I want to go into accounts or into finance, into proper finance, like kind of investment banking, or those core finance jobs. So I had this two very clear in my mind. So once I cracked Power Grid, it was also kind of my interest. But again, when it comes about SEBI, the interest is much more as compared to accounts and finance. And since I have already worked in IDBI Capital, it is an investment banker itself. So there actually, when I joined IDBI Capital, there were buybacks and IPOs going on. So it was that time I developed my interest in SEBI. Of course, in our CA curriculum, we have a chapter of SEBI in law, but it was only from exam point of view. But when you practically deal into it, it is very interesting. And it was at that point of time now, I was very sure that I ultimately want to be in that area. And I think there is no other organization as best as SEBI to be in that area.
Of course, and guys, you will be very amazed to know that she is mentioning again and again about her interest in SEBI. You'll be happy to know that she scored out of 15, 14 marks in the interview of SEBI.
Yeah.
So till now, what I've got to know, this is the highest score, right? So your interest, you work, you get your interest, clarity on that, you work for it, luck favors you, as Kiran said,
Yes.
and then it culminates also, right?
Yes.
So wonderful things to know, guys. Wonderful thing. Well done, Kiran, I would say.
Thank you so much.
So let us now discuss about your strategy.
Yes.
We will start with phase 1, because the most important hurdle, I would say, to clear for the students.
Yeah.
And that also, let's discuss about paper 1, because paper 2 is common for your phase 1 and phase
Yes.
2.
It is fun.
So let's talk about QRE and GA. How did you prepare, and what tips would you like to give to the students?
Okay. So now, since I'm from a CA background, QRE session is very difficult for me, and it is still is, even though I've cracked it. But still, I never want to study that QRE section again. But it is very difficult for a CA, because we are not used to competitive examinations. We are used to writing descriptive papers. So preparing for QRE was very difficult for me. So basically, I'll start one by one subjects, and I want to, divide my discussion into two parts. One is how I prepared. Second, what happened during the exam day, so that I can share my exam tips. I really
Yes.
want future aspirants to learn from my experience, so that they won't repeat the mistakes that I did. So I'll first start with GA. So for GA, I would say I'm not someone who reads newspaper daily, and it is really not possible. If you are studying so much, it's not possible to focus on one subject. One should give equal attention to all the subjects.
And as we discussed, Kiran, even if students are reading newspapers, reading is not enough. you have to
Yeah.
revise it.
Yes.
You have to make sure that you are able to answer through that knowledge what you have gained.
Yes, and in newspaper, what happens? You are just reading,
Hmm.
and I don't know if this is a myth or many people believe that one time reading is sufficient, but it is really not. You need to remember the entire thing you studied till the exam time, not even till the exam date, but till you are attempting that paper.
Hmm.
So my strategy was, since I think GA has a never-ending syllabus. I think there is no syllabus defined for GA. Like you can study, I mean, you can study for months and months and it will never
Yes.
get completed.
Every day it will keep on coming more
Yeah,
and more.
more and more. So my strategy was that I just studied GA for 3 months and focusing more on the finance part because it had hardly 20 questions. So my calculation was that 10 maybe from the journal, like journal questions
Hmm.
about GA, but at least 10 questions would be related to finance.
Hmm.
So I studied finance more deeply because in the notification also they had written that it is mostly finance based questions will be asked in GA. So at least 50% weightage I thought they'll give to finance part. So in GA also it is very important to read, to revise and revise.
Hmm.
So while in revision also I kept GA in the end
Hmm.
so that I remember those parts, and during exam time I attempted GA first.
Hmm.
Because in GA you are very sorted. You don't have to solve. You read the question and you know whether you know the answer or
Answer or
not.
not, right. It's
And
less time consuming
Yeah,
also.
it is very less time consuming, and then you are mentally satisfied that you are done with one part.
Hmm.
Instead of attempting GA in the end, you are at least mentally satisfied. यार एक part मेरा खत्म हो गया exam का.
Hmm.
And GA, I think you can complete in hardly 2 minutes.
Hmm.
Either you know or you don't know. You just have to skip the questions if you don't know. So I think this is how I prepared GA. And the second is, I would say, English.
Hmm.
Now English, the syllabus for English part is same as we have studied in class 10. It is no difference. But the point is, we have not been revising it since class 10. So it's very important for us to study that.
Hmm.
Now what I did for my preparation is, I watched YouTube lectures. And yes, I would like to mention Ranveer sir's name. I think he explained all the concepts very beautifully.
Hmm.
Okay, so I watched YouTube lectures. I made my own notes.
Hmm.
I mean, can you believe I made notes for nouns, adjectives, and verbs and adverbs, all the important rules. And yes, there are rules in that. When we commonly speak in English, we don't much focus on the rules that we follow.
Hmm.
But for this English part, the rules are important. You should be aware of those rules.
Hmm.
So I think people, mostly they take English very lightly. Yeah, it is general English. We use it in our daily language. We have been studying. But for English, you need a different kind of preparation, especially for QRE sections. So I made my own notes. I wrote all the rules for nouns, adjectives, and sentence improvement. And with timers, I used to practice. Like I use mock test for practicing English. And of course, a day before exam, one-time revision is a must. Even if you are very well versed with the topic, you know the topic very well, but still I would say give a one-time revise.
Hmm.
It is very
So
important.
basically, what I could understand is that you used to refer to the YouTube lectures,
Yes.
Narveer sir especially, what
Yes.
he used to give, and you maintained your own notes,
Yes.
and then completed your revision,
Yes.
and then took mock tests.
Yes, I took mock test, and sometimes what I used to do, since we had ample of time for preparation, so I used to watch YouTube videos, and then they practice questions also.
Hmm.
Like one question comes on the screen, and then you have to answer,
Hmm.
and then the answer will come. So I used to pause that video. I used to
Hmm.
think that what will be my answer, and then I used to cross check.
Hmm.
So this thing I did for the entire 3 subjects, QRE.
Hmm.
Whatever YouTube sessions I used to watch, I used to pause them. Like in LR also, I used to pause them. I used to solve it on my own, and then I used to see that. I mean, I used to continue that video.
Hmm. So this is a very important point when you are watching, especially the MCQs.
Yeah.
Uh, pause the video and try to come out with your own answer rather
Yes.
than sitting and watching
Yes.
that what would be the answer.
Yeah, definitely.
So this helped you, like all 3 QRE, you practiced through your YouTube videos.
Yes, I practiced because I had already practiced 50-50 questions for each. And then I was like, and actually the important thing is, when you're practicing through some book or you're attempting mock, you're solving from your own methodology. But when you watch YouTube videos, it may happen that you may find out some different way of solving that problem, and it may be easier and less time consuming. So that's why I used to watch those YouTube videos just to see that what is the what is the method that they are using to solve the problem in a faster way.
Some tips or tricks
Yeah.
might help you there.
Yeah, and because this less time consuming tricks or shortcuts are very important to clear these competitive exams, because it all the game is all about the speed and accuracy. And I'm very sure like 90% of the students would be accurate, they would know how to solve, but where they lack is the speed.
Time. Yes.
Time matters a lot.
So for the quant reasoning also, this was about your English. We will
Yes.
discuss about your descriptive English also when we
Yes.
talk about phase 2 separately, because
Yes.
there has to be a separate preparation.
Yes.
For quant reasoning, you would like to add something?
Yeah, for quants again the syllabus for quants it's very similar to what you are studying in class 9 and 10, but again the number of topics are huge. It can range from ratio proportion to mensuration and sometimes even trigonometry also. So I think the number of topics in quant was very, there were so lengthy topics, and the number of questions also that you need to practice in quant, there are so many that you need to practice on quants. And since the number of topics were so more, and I thought that I was neutral in LR and quant. Anyways, I had to start from the basics. So, and in LR, the topics were comparatively less. Like I used to count them on my finger. There are hardly 12 to 15 topics in LR. So I thought that I'll specialize in LR rather than quants, because quants had, I remember when I jotted down the topics, it ran around 20 to 25 topics. Whereas in LR it was hardly 15 topics. So I thought I'll complete LR first. And again in quants also the same problem lies. It's not that you don't know how to solve. The point is that you don't know how to solve in less time. And in case, God forbid that if the calculations went wrong, the methodology is very right. But what if the calculations go wrong? You are in that exam pressure. So you really don't know that, sometimes you panic. Sometimes, you are doing very quickly, the time is running out. It may happen that you may go wrong in your calculations. So I focused on LR. So in LR also, I did the same thing. In LR, I would like to mention for each and every topic also, for solving the questions, I used to write step 1, step 2, step 3. Because since I was not very, good at LR, it was for the first time that I was studying that. So from step 1, step 2, step 3. Like I would like to share an example. In puzzles also, earlier I used to take 30 minutes to solve one puzzle, and it was really demotivating for me. I was like, yeah, how will I crack this exam if I take 30 minutes for solving one puzzle? And yes guys, it happened with every one of us. When anyone, like if any one of you will be starting the preparation, it will happen in the same way. First time you will take 30 minutes, but you don't have to get demotivated. You need to practice hard, and I'm sitting here and I can say now that I can solve a puzzle in 7 to 8 minutes, and it is through practice. The key word for cracking QRE section is practice, practice and practice.
So basically I would say practice, and before that the initial step, as you said, is to somewhere strategize that this is what I'm gonna pick up in priority. This will be my list of I'll follow this, and then when you're clear about it, just as you said, practice.
Yes.
And
in LR, I would like to mention that there is a methodology of solving each type of questions. Just don't go random wise. First, watch the YouTube videos. If you're not good at it, you should know the basics. Like for puzzle, most of the faculties tell that while reading the puzzle, you should always pick up what is the starting point or end point in sitting arrangement. It helps you to solve that puzzle in a better way. Otherwise, you'll just go round and round in that puzzle and you won't be able to come to any conclusion. So it is very important that for each type of question, just know how it is to be solved and then practice. Then you will be able to do it in a much faster way.
Like rather than just randomly picking up question and solving. You are anyhow putting an effort in that way also.
Yes, then why not put systematic efforts? And especially if you are not good at it and still you want to crack it, then it is very important to go systematically.
So guys, that was about QRE and GA. I would say one of the most important hurdles, as I mentioned earlier.
Yes, for CA it is very, very, very big hurdle.
Yes, CAs actually do mention this, because if
Yeah.
paper 2 they say okay, we still are at least confident.
Yes.
But for paper 1, students are like, and not only for this examination, Kiran, I would like to mention that students are there who are preparing for other competitive examinations.
Yes.
Like RBI is there, NABARD
Yes,
is there.
NABARD is there.
So they have to do QRE,
Yes.
GA. These are the 4 basic things.
Yes.
So these tips are gonna help you there also, guys. Not only for SEBI, not only with the non-CA background. You come from any background, you appear in any examination.
Yes.
These things are what help
This
you.
QRE is very common. QRE and GA, it is common for all the competitive exams. And this was also the motivating factor for me. I wanted to clear SEBI so badly so that I don't get to study this QRE again.
Such, I would say, such a cute, demotivating point you have made. ठीक है, चलो. तो moving to your paper 2, Kiran.
Yes.
You tell us about your paper 2 preparation of phase 1. It is the same paper for phase 2 also.
Yes.
So whatever you prepare, I am assuming that the same preparation helped you in both the phases.
Okay, now since the syllabus was same,
Hmm.
we were having a lot of confusion whether the paper will be easy in phase 1 or it will be difficult. So the difficulty level, it was very difficult to gauge the difficulty level of exam, because since by the end of the last date of application, the number of applicants were really huge.
Hmm.
So I was very confused that whether in phase 1 paper 2 will be difficult to scrap out the candidates, or whether it will be easy so that they can ask difficult questions in phase 2,
Hmm.
paper 2. But anyways, I think we all say that whether the paper is hard or easy, but I think it is never hard or easy. It all depends on your preparation. And if you have prepared really well, if it is hard for you, it will be hard for everyone else. So for me, the preparation, there were 6 subjects.
Hmm.
In paper 2, we had accounts, costing, law, finance, eco and management. Now eco, apart from eco and management, all the 4 subjects I had in my CA curriculum. But again, I would like to mention, even though they were in my CA curriculum, I was not overconfident in it. I still studied each and every chapter diligently.
Hmm.
And one needs to understand that these competitive exams are not descriptive exams. In CA curriculum, we are used to write descriptive answers. We are used to solving big problems. But here, the game is all about the minor details.
Hmm.
You need to study each and every line nicely. You need to understand that, because an MCQ can be made from a single line itself.
Hmm.
So I think the studying technique was very different from what I used in my CA curriculum. Now my point of view for the MCQ part.
Hmm.
So I study from the MCQ point of view. Since as everyone know, accounts is the strength of all the CAs. But yes, I'd like to mention in accounts also,
Hmm.
even though what I used to do is, I know accounting standards very well. It will hardly take 10 to 15 minutes to just give a revise.
Hmm.
But do give that. Because what happens in MCQ type is that there are 4 options.
Hmm.
And I think everyone will agree with this on me. There are 4 options, out of which 2 can be eliminated on the spot very easily, and the battle lies between the remaining 2.
That's right. I agree.
And unless and until you knew that concept very thoroughly, you
Hmm.
won't be able to say which one is the answer.
Absolutely.
And then the guessing work starts, and it may go wrong.
Hmm.
And in SEBI, since there were only 50 questions, the penalty was really something to be worried about if your answer went
Hmm.
wrong. So what I did, that even for accounts, I made note for accounting standards. And because we all got ample of time for preparation, I revised at least twice or thrice
Hmm.
each subject, and even in that subject also each topic. Even though it hardly took me 5 minutes because I was so good at that topic, but still I used to spare the 5 minutes and revise that topic.
And as you said, the 4 subjects that you had already read in your CA.
Yes.
So your sources for this examination were the same?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was from ICI material.
Okay. And for rest 2 subjects, what were your sources?
Okay, from rest two sources, actually that management and economics, there were so many sources which was available on Google, because since the syllabus was very defined, they were very clear about the topics.
Given topic wise each.
Topic wise. So for that eco and management, I studied from the Google Notes, whatever was available in PDF. But again, economics, again it is very vast. Economics and management. Management is all about remembering. There were so many theories. Again, I made charts for management theories, because you need to remember which theory and what are these principles. So I would like to share an example, just a quick short how to remember the theories. The name of the theory, you write what is it like, what is the use of that theory, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages in pointers, so that you can revise it very easily.
And quickly also, you
Yes.
don't have to take a lot of time.
Yes, and especially I would like to mention in law. Yes, in law, I have gone through so much videos, and I saw that people are very worried about penalties. How to
Yes.
remember the penalties? But I'll tell you, I never studied those penalties. I never did, because see, there are so many penalties. For each section, if you do a violation, there is a penalty.
Yes.
If you are not complying with, there is a penalty. Now, what is the point of reading if you are not going to remember the exact figure in the exam? And let's do a calculation. There were 50 questions, 6 subjects, approximately 6 to 7 questions. And in law, are all the questions be based on penalty? No. There will be hardly one question. So I rather thought that it would be wiser to skip those penalties at the inception only. Why should I waste time on penalty? It's okay if I don't attempt a penalty question, but at least I can attempt other questions.
And I think even in paper, what I can remember, there was only one question,
Yeah.
right? So, guys, you see, understanding is the concept here. That
Yes.
before you start your content, you start reading it. She made an understanding that 50 questions are gonna there. Each subject will have these many
Yes.
questions. Then topic wise you can do. So setting the priority list again.
Yes, in law I remember there were 7 to 8 topics, and the number of questions were also 6 to 7. So approximately, from one topic at least one question would be there. And since directors was a huge chapter, appointment of directors and meetings of the board, they were 2 big chapters. So for law, what I did is I made my own MCQs.
So you made your own
Yeah.
questions from.
Yeah, I made my own question because they are section based. So you can't just guess about law. You have to be very specific. And so I made my own MCQs for each chapter. Because law is very difficult to remember. You have to remember everything. Unless and until you remember the exact word or exact thing, you won't be able to answer in exam. And I would like to mention, I had a lot of problem in remembering the number of days. Okay, I skipped penalties because there were so many. But I couldn't, take risk on the number of days. And in law also, you will find almost in every section the number of days are there. And mostly it is 15 and 30. In most of the times, it is 15 days or 30 days you have to comply. Now, I couldn't take risk in number of days as well. So what I did, I made a chart. 15 days, these are the things. 30 days, these are the things. And on the day of revision, what I did is, and there are other few days also, like 45 days or 60 days or 120 days. You can remember it because there, only one provision is there that requires compliance. This 15 days and 30 days is very confusing. So what I did, I made charts for 15 days, 30 days, and while studying that I did. When I was studying the chapter, on the back of the page, I read, okay, these are 15 days, these are the pointers. On 30 days, these are the pointers. On the day of revision, again, since there was less time, so what I did is, I only revised 15 days, and the rest remaining are 30 days.
So, making tables,
Yes.
making your own charts,
Yes, it's very
helped
helpful.
her, okay? And I would also like to mention that this is very important thing that you have mentioned about these days, okay,
Yes,
by
yes.
giving example. But guys, whatever students, whatever they find it, they find that this is difficult, make your own chart, make your own table,
Yes.
some handwritten notes, they will help you. And revision, as you said, is the key.
Revision is the key. I think 1 or 2 days before exam, you have to revise the entire thing you have read over the last 1 year. It's very important. And I remember what I had planned for my revision is I kept 3 subjects one day for revision, because I didn't wanted to skip any topic or anything. So I kept 3 days for 3 subjects for 1 day, 3 subjects for 1 day, and studying entirely. And because of the MCQ part, which I made in law, it really helped me. I think I completed my revision for law within 5 hours. Entire 7 chapters, and to the point. Even though buyback was also there, so everything, the even the number of days and all the provisions were very clear with the MCQ part. And if you make your own MCQs, it is very good. You have to make your own notes, because it will help you in revising things.
So what I could understand, Kiran, is that the more effort you put in
Yes.
your preparation time, the less you'll be worried during your revision.
Yes.
And of course, you'll be able to perform better in your examination.
Yeah, definitely. For management and law, I had made my own MCQs. And now how I used to make MCQs is one paragraph I used to study, and I used to think, yeah, what MCQ will come from this? What question they can ask in form of MCQ? And I used to note it down. And in the revision, it was really very helpful, because I didn't have to go from that entire material. I used to just see the question and I used to recall whether I know that answer or not. If I know that answer, I don't have to revise it again. So that is the key, how you can reduce your revision time. And I can, give time to economics, because economics is little difficult. So I gave more time to economics, management, and remembering those theories. So this is how I managed my time during revision.
Okay. So again, the same. I would like to sum up quickly that you identify that which subject is easy, difficult.
Yes.
Start making your priority list. Start with it. Make your notes. Of course, this question, Kiran, we get a lot, that do I need to make notes, ma'am? So
Yeah,
I
definitely.
personally say that, as you said, that more effort you put in during your preparation, probably you will have to give, let's say, 2 or 3 hours more because of notes making. But that will help you later on, right?
Yes.
So I'll ask just 2-3 questions related to your 6 subjects quickly.
Yes.
Which subject do you find easiest out of the 6 subjects?
Of course, accounts.
Because, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Right. And the most difficult?
The most difficult was, I think, management, because of the theories. Because of, there were behaviors theory. There were so many theories there. So I was finding it really difficult. The theories were really very close. So I think management was difficult.
And interesting?
I think the most interesting was law. Yeah, because I remember in our material, the chapter of director consists of 100 pages, approximately. And even if you rule out all the questions and everything, still they would be around 60 to 70 pages. So I thought it won't be possible for me, to revise the entire material a day before exam. So first I started with law, because I knew that law is very huge. And so I think law was very interesting for me to make those MCQs. I really enjoyed that part.
Nice. And if you are given a chance to eliminate one paper, one subject out of the 6 subjects for the future aspirants, or let's say for yourself only, you were given the chance, which subject would you eliminate?
I think all the subjects are necessary, even though I say that management is difficult, but actually it is necessary. I can't eliminate anyone. Like accounts, you need. Costing is also important. You should know how to find out the costing also. Okay, if you are going to deal with a manufacturing company, like in SEBI, so you should know that how the costing is done. Law is, of course, is there. Economics is also important. Management, it is important. I think by referring all the material, not only from the exam point of view, but there are so many skills that you can learn from that management topics. So it is very, I think all the 6 subjects, I won't like to eliminate anyone, even though management was difficult, but still I think it is.
So guys, for the future aspirants, the tip from Kiran is that you have to carefully prepare all the 6 subjects, okay?
Don't leave any subject.
Whether you like it, you find any subject easy, you find any subject difficult, anything, you have to prepare all subjects.
And give due advantage to every subject. Just don't think that you're good at one subject, so you will give less time to it. And it may happen that one subject take more number of hours than the other, but make sure you're revising each and every topic nicely. This is important.
Okay, so I think one more question before we proceed to your descriptive part is see, when you are preparing, let's say, this time the number of months that were given for the preparation were more.
Yes.
Okay, it was like a blessing in disguise also.
Yes.
But let's say usually the time is less
Yes.
for the preparation. Even students, if they are preparing before the notification, then also the time is less, and especially after the notification. So while preparing these 6 subjects, I'm talking about paper 2. How to go about the preparation strategy? Like, should you pick up one subject at a time, or you can suggest that all subjects can be taken up simultaneously, or even pairing up of subjects can be done.
Okay, now while I'm someone who plans everything beforehand, like before starting anything, I always plan each subject or whatever I'm doing in my life. I'm a planning person. So when this notification came in March, the exam was supposed to be held on April 23rd. So we had around 40 days. So my strategy was that I would be giving, because since I was weak in QRE, so daily 1 hour GA, maths, quant, reasoning, and in the later part of day, since accounts, costing, and finance, they are like practical subjects, whereas law, eco, and management are theoretical subjects. So I was thinking that I'll pair them up. So first I'll go for theory. If I get bored, I can go towards my practical. So I could, maintain my concentration level as well. But when this got postponed and there was no sign of any exams, then I decided that I'll take one subject. So I changed my strategy according to the number of days that were left. And people always, I don't know, maybe some people, they start planning from day one. It's better to start planning from end. Always keep a buffer period. Like, let's say if there are 40 days remaining for your exam, think that there are only 30 days. Because we plan a lot, and I'm very sure that each one of us plan before studying. We plan, okay, this will be completed in this much time, but hardly any one of achieve the target. We are never on time, and it will get, because you don't know the number of hours the subject will take. It may happen that you are not able to achieve any target. So that buffer period is very important, and it keeps a check on you, that when that 30-day time is up, you know where you exactly stand. So you can accordingly plan or change your strategy in the remaining 10 days. So when this notification, these exams got delayed, I took one subject at a time, especially starting with the one that are most difficult. Like management. I think management I gave at least 3 to 4 times reading, because I found it difficult. I was not able to remember the theories. And I used to forget the names or whatever the key points are there. So I gave at least 3 to 4 times reading for management. Again, law, I thought law is going to be difficult, especially for MCQs. So I started with law, management, and economics. And then, because see, once you are done with the hard subjects, you are mentally little relaxed. That okay, I'm done with hard subjects. Now it comes my forte, like accounts, costing, and finance. So this is how I prepare.
Very well explained, I would say, guys. This is the most detailed, I would say, the strategy.
Yes.
We could have shared with you. Kiran has told you each and every point, that if you have less time, you can go by this way.
Yes.
If you have more number of days, go this way. Now you have to decide what you want to do in such a way, and then just execute it. Hard work, as you have been saying. Chalo, theek hai. Wonderfully explained about. I am really, I'm getting this feeling that students are gonna, appreciate this detailed strategy.
Thank you.
Talking about your descriptive paper.
Yeah, now descriptive also, I think it was my first time for descriptive paper. And after clearing phase 1, I was happy that QRE is gone. But again, that descriptive paper was there. But as compared to QRE, it was manageable. Because it was only English, not that cons and reasoning. But still, since I have never attempted any descriptive paper, I thought that, it may happen that I scored less in descriptive.
Basically, descriptive paper on computer, the online interface.
Yeah, descriptive paper on computer. I've never had, got an experience of giving exams while typing. So for descriptive, what I did is, of course, I took EduTap course. Okay, it was there. And there were 2-hour sessions. Each lecture consisted of 2 hours, in which Narveer sir explained very well You know, we all think essay we have been writing in our school days. Pressy we have done in our school days. Reading comprehension, I think most people they don't prepare only. Like the answers are there itself in the passage. Why you need to prepare? But it is not so. I think even for essay, the essays are very, even you know, before enrolling for the course, even I thought that essays are something that we write in our school days, but it is really not so because the word limit is there. You just can't go about writing introduction and then coming to the topic because there is a word limit of 150 words. So you should know that what you need to write in those 150 words, and quality definitely matters. You just can't go about, you know, like we used to do in our school days, 2 and 3 and pages writing essay. You used to write all the surroundings and everything on that topic, but no, you have to be very specific on that topic. And there were so many points that I learned from that descriptive course, especially about facts. You need to put facts in your essays. And for facts, I think what I did is union budget was there, economic survey was there, and you know, Ranveer sir beautifully he explained, he you know made us jotted all the points that were very common for every essay. You can you know note it on whatever topics come, actually you can relate. And I remember him saying that you know, and of course for descriptive also I made notes. I mean, people will find you know she's making notes for everything, but that really helped because one day before exam, you know, when the exam pressure is there, you at least have a complete strategy of how you are going to you know implement on the D day basically. So when I see, okay, step 1 I have to do, so I make myself remember that I have to do these things in exam because that's what I was preparing for since last 1 year. What all matters is that 1 hour 40 minutes, how you perform. So for descriptive also, for essay, pressy and reading. So for essay I remember him saying that you know in each paragraph at least you should put one figure. It will fetch you more marks. You know, give 1 or 2 examples.
Because anyhow you are writing, but your knowledge you get a chance to
Yes,
show.
because you know you're writing for SEBI exam, you're not writing for school essay. So it really makes a difference. And for Pressy, I would say again, you know, we were having a misconception, it is just a summary and this, but it is really not so. Again, there is a systematic approach for Pressy as well. How you should go, you know, because you know what we think that we'll just read the Pressy once and you're going to remember everything that is mentioned in the passage. It is not so. In the exam time, you will once read and you'll forget what is given in the first paragraph. So Ranveer sir explained very nicely that you know while reading you make the points, you write the keywords, then you know combine those points. It will save time, and he even mentioned the timelines also. Like this much time you should take for Pressy, this much time you take for essay, this much time for RC. So it is really very important, you know, to know how much words you need to write for essay, for each answer, how much words, you know, like how you need to frame the sentences, how you should go about starting a question. All these things I noted down step by step, so that one day before exam, I had everything in my mind of how I need to go on the exam day. So when that screen will appear before me, how am I going to start? You know, because I think many of us, it will happen with, you know, many of other students, like whenever you go in front of the screen, whenever that screen appears and that timer starts, you are completely blank.
It happens.
And it happened with me, and it has been happening with me in Power Grid as well, in SEBI also. I mean, this hasn't changed. So I've accepted the fact that whenever the screen will appear, I'll go blank at least for, you know, few seconds. Because you're so much pressurized, you know, that exam day, many of you will relate to me that exam day is completely different. That, you know, when you're sitting in front of the PC and that first question appears and you are in a hurry of completing everything on time, and you are thinking at the back of the mind, you have so much to do, time is running, and yes, the time was very less. It was only 1 hour 40 minutes, and you will never come to know how those 1 hour 40 minutes will quickly pass by. So, you know, so I'll like to share one tip of how I tackle this. Whenever the screen appears, accept it that you will get blank. Okay, so this will help that you won't panic. It will be like, okay, you had accepted that you will go blank. So when you go blank, I always, you know, say myself, calm yourself. It will take 1 minute. but it will be helpful for the rest of your time. You will not panic, and it is very important to read the question very carefully. Because when you are in the exam mode, many of us, we skip some words which are important, specifically that not is written, and we will, while reading quickly,
in a hurry of
Yeah.
just reading the question.
yeah, we'll skip some words. It is very important to calm yourself. It is okay, even if you take one minute or 1.5 minute of your time just to relax and make yourself comfortable with the screen. Just calm yourself and just say yourself, okay, this is it. It's okay if I went blank. Now I have to start my exam. Just recall whatever you have revised. Talk to yourself that okay, it's okay. I calmed. I don't know what to do. This question has appeared. It's okay. Just recall, okay, I studied so hard. I need to crack this. Think about SEBI and then go for it.
So basically, make yourself mentally ready.
Yes.
Even like before the exam, as you said.
Yes.
Except that I will calm myself up. I would say very important tip that you have shared.
Yes.
This happens because students have prepared so much time has been
Yes.
invested in a competitive mood. You are sitting. So many students you can see.
Yes, yes,
So
definitely.
that rush comes up, that
Yes.
what if I miss out such things? But anyhow, you have to perform everything in those minutes allotted to you.
Yes.
Lovely that was. Coming back to the English descriptive one point.
Yes.
See, you have told us about the systematic approach you followed,
Yes.
how one should follow for the preparation and even for attempting the paper.
Yes.
Okay. But here I would like to ask you about the practice. You told me that you have practiced a lot about essays also.
Yes.
So that point also I would request you to mention.
Okay, so when I took EduTap's course, there were almost 100 topics. So initially during lectures I understood how essays are to be prepared, like how to write the essays, but again just knowing won't do. You have to prepare it on your own. So I used to pick some topics, and by putting a timer, like for 1 or 2 minutes, I used to take a pause and think about what are the points I need to mention, because this was the strategy that was told to us. So I started to implement them within that allotted time, to think for 1 or 2 minutes, to jot down the points, and then practice. And of course that keyboard. And many of us have said, and even I would like to repeat, that interface is not good. Be prepared. Don't panic like I did. It was my first descriptor, so I panicked a little. I did. So when that screen came, I thought it will be a full screen, and when I type, I'll be able to see everything. But that was not the case. It was just a small window, and whatever you are typing on, basically right hand side, you were not able to see. So then I decided that I'll type the letters carefully, so that to avoid spelling mistake, instead of scrolling left and right. So I decided I'm anyways not going to see what is on the right hand side. So it's better that I'll save that time of checking that again, and I was careful while typing the key to avoid spelling mistake. So yes, and I practice on keyboard, because of course laptop experience is very different and keyboard experience is very different. So every day for 1 hour I used to practice. Earlier, what I used to do, I used to pick a
This
article.
is after your phase 1?
Yeah, after my phase 1. So because I was not sure whether I will be able to crack QRE or not. So after cracking, I started, let's start for descriptive. And of course, I like to mention, I put more efforts in descriptive, because I thought I was weak at it. So I put more efforts in descriptive as compared to that paper too, so that I don't lag behind because of descriptive. And of course, initially I used to take articles to increase my typing speed. Later on, what I did in the last 10 days, I used to pick essay topic, and I used to think and type. So, and I used to check whether I'm used to, able to complete that within the time which I have.
Basically, you were trying to
Yeah.
develop a paper environment.
Yeah, paper
Simulation.
environment. But whatever you simulate, that experience is entirely different.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
Again, as we discussed, because you know that day,
Yeah.
this is the most important time I can deliver.
Yes.
So that pressure
And
is there.
yeah, and one more thing one can do is, when you are in that SEBI exam hall, you get some half an hour. I got almost 1 hour, like before the exam got started. So what I do, I went myself, I was getting familiarized with the keyboard. I was just typing randomly, some lines, because you have already studied a lot of
Hmm.
essays, so you could just pick out a topic in your head and just keep on typing to get yourself familiarized with that
Hmm.
keyboard.
This is also an important
Yes.
tip. This is also gonna help not only in your preparation but
Yeah.
on the day also of the examination. So guys, we have tried to discuss, Kiran has tried to tell you about each and every subject, starting from your GA, QRE,
Yes.
all the papers of paper 2 and even your English descriptive, right?
Yes.
Now interview.
Yes, interview. Finally, we have reached phase 3 interview.
Yes. And as I've already mentioned, that Kiran has scored really well in her interview. Although she has not much experience of the competitive examinations. She just appeared in two experiences we had
Yeah.
shared, and she prepared really well for the interview. How
Yes.
that she will only tell.
Yes, so when I was very happy, I qualified phase 2, but I was little sad because I didn't knew my marks.
Hmm.
And see, I think one should be very clear that the aim is not clearing phase 1 or phase 2. The aim is to get into SETI.
Hmm.
So I was happy that I qualified phase 2. But again, I was worried that what number of marks I have got. Am I near the bottom line?
Hmm.
Or am I in the top 5? I had no clue about it. And interview was the last chance for me. In case, I always go for the worst case scenarios, because if it is best, then it will always be in your favor. But I thought worst to worst case scenario, let's think that I'm the one who have got the least marks.
Hmm.
So in case if I, get better marks in interview as compared to other people, I may, go up a little bit and get selected in SETI. So that was my approach for interview. Now interview preparations, I'll just quickly sum up how I prepared. Basically, interview preparations I segregated into 3 parts. It is your HR questions, your profile based questions, and SEBI related questions. And I did a separate preparation for each one of this. Like for HR questions, you easily get into Google. If you will type what are the top 50 HR questions, and I like to mention I prepared almost 55 HR questions.
Hmm.
So because you never know what they will ask, and then I didn't wanted that I will fumble at the time, because I may I may
Better
go
to be
blank.
prepared.
Yeah, it's better
and
to be
what
prepared.
hard work is required, you
Yes.
have to be clear about
Yes,
it.
and for SEBI related questions, I think I did SEBI website. I researched all the SEBI website. I read SEBI bulletins.
Hmm.
And even though the bulletins, if those who are preparing for future, if you will go through SEBI bulletins, you will find that it is the SEBI bulletins of 100 pages. And some people will just say, yaar, itna 100 pages hai, how will we study? Or how will we recollect? But the thing is, the content in those 100 pages, most are just the database.
Hmm.
So you just need to have a general understanding of what is going on in the SEBI in the last 1 year, because interview questions, there are expected questions. You should know about SEBI, what is going on in the last 1 year. So SEBI and profile based questions. Now this will vary from person to person.
Hmm.
But do know your profile, specifically the subjects which you have studied. Now be it engineering or be it CA, and I like to mention, even if you have done BCom or MCom, even you are a CA, but still if you have done BCom or MCom, do revise that subjects also. At least the name of the subjects you should remember.
Hmm.
Sometimes interviews are okay. Tell me one of your subjects of your MCom. You never know what question they'll put you. So it's better to prepare your profile very nicely. And some tips I would like to say in interview is, while preparing profile based questions, not only your profile, but if you are from other town, like I was from Mumbai only.
Hmm.
But if you're coming from other town, you should know about a little about the town itself, as well as the place in which you are giving the interview.
Hmm.
Like in Power Grid interview, since I am from Mumbai, they asked me how is the situation in Mumbai regarding COVID? Yeah, what are the rules they are following? So you are supposed to know the surroundings of your town as well as the place where you are giving your interview.
So again basically about your background,
Yeah.
your education, the city you are
Yes,
hailing
yes,
from,
yes.
and of course about your interest, you want to join the organization.
Yes.
Why? About SEBI, you have told the best source is the website of the SEBI.
Yeah, website also, and you should know about the basic concepts
Hmm.
around SEBI, like what is securities market, what are debts, bonds. They will, ask you questions related to this. And like, there are SEBI regulations. Of course, you're not supposed to know the SEBI regulations in detail, but at least you should know which regulations are there. They may ask you just the name, but at least you should be aware. Again, I think preparing for SEBI interview was like, there was so many things to study. So again, you need to prioritize, because SEBI deals with so many things. How much will you cover in those days? And again, for interview also, I will say revise the technical part. Once you're done with the studying, revise it 2 days before the interview at least, so that in the interview you won't be like, I read that but I'm not able to recall.
Revision again.
Revision is very important, and it would be better if you're able to do it 1 day before your exam. But because of the huge coverage that we are doing, it is really not possible to complete everything in 1 day. So better you do it at least 2 to 3 days before your interview. Like, I'll give an example of what I did. Is HR questions and profile based questions I had already practiced during my Power Grid interview. So for SEBI technical, I specifically highlighted and revised everything just 1 day before exam.
Because that knowledge that you have gained, even if there is no direct question, as we were discussing, it helps you to, you have that confidence that I have read.
Yes.
Even if they ask, I'll be able to answer.
Yes.
Okay. And did you also take any mock interview?
No, I didn't took any mock interviews, because at that time, I got a call from EduTech for the mock interviews, but that time I was at my training at Power Grid. So I wasn't able to, do this mock interviews. But anyways, it's better if you take mock interviews. You will get the do's and don'ts of the interview, and the more interviews you give, the more experience you will get, and you won't repeat that mistakes in your next interview.
You'll be acquainted with the process,
yes.
right? Okay, so I think we have discussed a lot of tips.
Yes.
A detailed strategy that is going to help all the future aspirants, and they're going to appreciate it. I am sure about it. So once again, thank you so much, Kiran, for sparing out time, coming to the office and sharing this strategy. We would like to wish you all the very best for your future at SEBI. We have really high hopes that you're going to just excel there also.
Thank you so
So
much.
thank you, and wish you all the best from entire team, as well as our lovely students.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I would like to share one mantra, which I followed. We always, whenever any job notification comes, we always dream that, okay, if I get that job, I'll do this. We think a lot about it, but that, you should stop thinking and start doing. Because unless you do, nothing you're gonna achieve. So, if you think a lot, you will be nowhere. So you think, you plan, but don't overdo it. The next day you have to get on the field and start doing. So again, for all the students, for all the future aspirants, I hope that you get, maybe some of the tips will be useful to you, and I wish you all the best to all the aspirants. And I have heard that many of them have not cleared grade A by 0.01 mark. It was very disheartening. You just missed by 0.01 mark. But don't get demotivated. You try hard, practice hard, and always be positive in your approach, and you will always get where you want to be. Thank you.
Again, thank you, and guys, thank you for tuning in and spending out time. I really hope that you like the interview. Drop us the comments below and do subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much. Bye bye.